There is nothing worse than a strikeout. I'm not even talking about strikeouts with baseball or even just striking out with the gal them. I'm just talking more the idea of putting your all into something just to have it blow up in your face.
What did he say?
In 2011, Warner Brothers had a massive strikeout of their own with the Green Lantern film. While this film was supposed to jumpstart a potential franchise and be what a lot of the box office pros call a tentpole movie, its failure to make it back to home base really squandered any chances of putting any points on the board. I promise that's the last baseball analogy. Combined with the flop of the Green Lantern movie is the subject of today's video. I'm Guapo Jim, and today we're going to be breaking down Green Lantern, the animated series, and why this CGI cartoon about our favorite Emerald Crusader is a true hidden gem. Before I talk about Green Lantern, the animated series, this is a pretty small channel. Not many people who watch my channel are actually subscribed. So if you like this video, I'm gonna need you to like this video, comment, subscribe, share, the whole deal. It's me, the 5-star general. All support is super appreciated. You guys really have no idea. With that out of the way though, let's put you guys onto some Green Lantern, all right? So, for those of you who don't know or are too young to remember, Green Lantern, the animated series, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm just gonna call it Green Lantern. Like it's way too much to say the animated series every time. So Green Lantern, this TV show, it's a 2011 TV show that was basically made to capitalize off of the aforementioned Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie that came out the same year. Kind of an interesting side note, but this show right here is actually the first CGI show that DC ever did. It went on to predate Beware the Batman by about 2 years. It's funny because a lot of times people seem to mistake the two, but this was actually the first one to come out. Basically, in Green Lantern, we get to meet Hal Jordan, who is a very, very willful test pilot. While going through a normal day of like flying and doing loop-de-loops and shit like that, a glowing green ring, it basically finds him and pretty much forces him to join the Green Lantern Corps, who would be like a space cop force, pretty much. I know there's a better way of saying that, but I can't think of it right now. So after accepting the deal, Hal embarks on this high-stakes mission to basically protect all life in all reaches of the universe. Him and his alien partner, Kilowog, they now navigate our galaxy, which is affectionately known as Sector 2814, and they do this in their advanced spaceship known as the Interceptor. On this spaceship, the Interceptor, they've got this super sentient AI being who she's like a part of the ship, and then she becomes a real girl, so to speak, later on. Her name is Aya. She's basically super curious because she's learning everything for the first time. If you watch the show, you'll get what I mean. The best way to kind of think about it is that she's like the woman's voice on the show, which is much needed if you watch this. In this show, the primary foes of the Green Lantern is basically the Red Lantern Corps, and these guys, the Red Lanterns, they're led by Atrocicus, whose power, like the Red Lantern, their power, it's fueled by rage. As I was saying before, green, they're fueled by will, red is fueled by rage. You'll get it if you watch the show. During their adventures going around, the Green Lanterns, Hal and Kilowog, they encounter this Red Lantern named Razor. They take him as a prisoner, but eventually you know, it's the heroes and shit. They gotta do what's right. So they put him on because he helps them fight Atrocicus. There's also this whole side plot about Aya and Razor falling in love. If you watch the show, you'll see what I mean. Basically, as we begin to uncover the sinister plots that the Red Lanterns are trying to pull, Hal and Kilowog and the rest of the team, they have to navigate all of the treacherous, you know, things that happen. They create alliances and they face enemies who not only test their limits as lanterns, but also test their limits as people as well. Goes without saying, the show is called Green Lantern. It's supposed to be about Hal Jordan, and while the show is about him very much, it really does do a great job of giving the other characters in the show room to grow. From us seeing Aya grow as an AI into the real person that she later becomes, as well as seeing Razor becoming much less rageful and, you know, more calm and easy. I wouldn't say easygoing, but more, I don't know, even-tempered, I guess you could say. It's cool to see all of those things. It's also really cool to see the dynamic between Kilowog and Hal, just because it provided a lot of camaraderie, and it did provide a lot of tension as well, highlighting the bonds that have been shared through all of their training. But again, as I said, just the dynamics of all of the characters as a whole, all of them, every character in this show, they were really given their chance to shine. And personally, me, I was all here for it. I love that shit, you know? Hey man, me and you were talking, we're riffing. If you like this video right here, I'm sure that you'd be all over Beware the Batman. I mentioned it earlier, but I actually did a whole video breakdown about that show as well, and I've left a link down in the description below. You should really check it out because, again, I'm sure that you'll like it. From a production standpoint, this show, it did come in with some pretty big expectations, but it also came in with some really, really big names attached as well. Bruce Timm, who was the producer for the DCAU, as in like Justice League, the OG Batman cartoon that we all love, all of that stuff. He was actually the producer on this show as well. So with that cosign alone, if you're a fan of his work, you know that this show is going to be lit. From a critical standpoint, this show was actually really, really well received. But again, because of the poor reception of the aforementioned Green Lantern film, as well as this show's inability to sell toys, it was canceled after a 1-season, 26-episode run. Even though the show itself was canceled early, there have been numerous attempts since to bring the Green Lantern Corps back onto TV, with some recent reports even saying that HBO Max is picking up a new Lantern series for some time in the next year. I've heard that like 4 times at least, so we'll see how that goes. But if you ever do want to check out this Green Lantern cartoon, you can find it streaming today on Amazon Prime. As a whole, I really enjoyed this show, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I always thought it was hype. I'm a super big fan of comic book shows when they really go in with their lore and their world building and they give us cameo characters. So obviously the Guy Gardner episode, I was hyped for that shit. But there was even that episode that they gave about the Steam Lantern. I thought he was cool. Bringing in the anti-monitor, anti, I'm not sure, you guys can comment down below how you say it, but bringing in the anti-monitor for the second half of the season, that shit was crazy. But even just seeing some of the different colored Lantern Corps, I thought it was really cool. You guys, again, you can comment down below on on which Corps you think that you belong to. As cliche as it sounds, I'd probably be a green one or a blue one, you know? I don't know, it's just me. Low key though, this show was a great show. It really was. And it was commented before, people had asked me to do a review on it, so obviously I had to come out here and do it. Shout out to the audience member who suggested it. I'll try to bring it up in this video later on. Anyway, you guys know I always thought this show was hype and I just wanted to throw it some love, you know? This show itself was fire and fuego, and as you guys know, I'm always trying to put you onto some next shit, and I just kind of wanted to let you guys know why Green Lantern, the animated series, was a true hidden gem still. Thank you, thank you, thank you if you've made it this far. If you're a fan of this type of content, I'll need you to like, subscribe, and comment down below on which other shows you guys think were true hidden gems. Stay safe. Later days.